Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nervous Nessie. Today, I wanted to talk about what is kind of becoming a hot topic these days, and that is tipping. It seems like everyone is wanting more and more of your money, and people are becoming very disheartened when it comes to tipping. Now, there are times that you definitely should tip. And of course, this is mostly in the United States. Not every country does tipping, but if you come to the United States, we definitely do tipping. A lot of tipping. So I wanted to share with you 10 different instances where you would need to, or at least want to, tip the person while traveling. So the first person that you would want to tip would be your maid, and that is your hotel maid. They are cleaning up after you. I don't want to clean up after anyone else. I don't want to clean up after myself, let alone anyone else. So you want to tip the maid, and they're making the bed for you, they're cleaning the bathroom, they are doing so many things in your room for you, and you definitely want to leave a tip. Now, if you think that the maid is going to be different each day, and that is a good possibility, then it's a good idea to leave the tip each day. But maybe you're staying at a resort or something where they have told you that you will have one maid for the duration of your trip. Then you might want to leave the tip at the end of your trip. It's always a good idea to leave a couple of dollars each day, and most people end up leaving it on the bed. Make it very obvious. You don't want it tucked away somewhere and the maid possibly miss it, and then the next person staying in the room just got your money. Generally, laying it on the bed where it's very obvious, or laying it on the bathroom counter or a counter when you first walk into your room is always a good idea. A lot of hotel rooms have notepads where you can leave a note, so you can even write a little note saying, "Thank you, this money is for you," and the maids will appreciate that. The second person that you would want to tip kind of is like your maid, but they go a little above and beyond, and that is your room attendant for trains and cruises. Now, they are taking care of your every need. They may not be making your bed. For trains, you can either have them come in and make the bed for you, or if you want to, you can make it yourself, but they obviously will offer to help, but they also do other things as well. They check in on you periodically to make sure you don't need anything. Sometimes the trains can be set up to where you can actually have your meal in your train room versus having to go to the meal car. And so that means that attendant has to stop what they're doing, go to the meal car. First, they have to take your order, then go to the meal car, get the food, and then take a tray of food all through this moving train to your room. I would not want to do that. I would probably spill it all over everyone along the way. So you want to leave a little bit of a tip. Same thing goes for a cruise cabin attendant. They do a lot as well. They will make your bed every night. Sometimes they will make little animals made out of towels and leave it on your bed. They do a lot, so you want to tip them. Now, it depends on how much the attendant did during the trip. The prices can vary. I have seen $10 a day. I've seen $20 a day. Sometimes a lot less, sometimes a lot more. Just think about it this way. How much would you like to get for taking care of someone doing their job? I know I would like to get a little bit more because it is an all-day job. Because they cannot leave work. They are stuck on the train too. They're stuck on the cruise ship too. So you want to put yourself in their shoes and then try to tip accordingly. For the train attendant and cruise cabin attendants, it's always best to kind of tip at the end of the trip. They're running around doing stuff every single day, and the only time that they're really going to stop is at the end of the trip. So leaving a little bit of money, again, out in an obvious place where they can see it, in your room or your cabin is always a great idea. One thing that I do is whenever I travel, I take little small thank you notes with me. Just a little thank you note, maybe even an envelope. I'll write their name on there. I try to make a point to get their name and write their name on there and do a little handwritten note thanking them for all that they did during the trip. And then I'll put the money and the note in the envelope and I'll leave it sitting in my seat in my train room, or if I'm on a cruise, again, I would lay it on the bed. This is a very nice way to make that person feel appreciated. The third person that you would want to tip is the concierge. If you're staying at a hotel in a new city and maybe you want to get tickets to a show that night, and instead of you going through the whole hassle of trying to contact and get tickets and everything yourself, you reach out to the concierge in the lobby and ask them to do that for you. They're doing you a favor. They're trying to get you tickets and get you a good deal. So it's always a good idea to tip them for whatever they have done for you. The fourth person that you would want to tip is someone that is giving you spa services. Maybe it's a massage, maybe it's getting your hair done or your nails done, facial. There's so many different things that you can get done at a spa these days. And tipping that person for their services is a great idea. Usually it's about 20%. So you want to think and plan ahead of how much the actual service is going to cost, how much the tip is going to be, and usually it's a good idea to put the actual spa service maybe on a card, a credit card, but then tipping in cash. The person actually would prefer to get cash instead of having the tip on a card, because then they can use that cash right away if they need to. The fifth person that you would want to tip is actually two people, but they're both in one location, and that's a restaurant. You want to tip the waiter and you want to tip the bartender. Now, if you are going to a restaurant and you're having a meal and you're having an alcoholic beverage at your table, then you would only tip the waiter. But if you go to a bar and you buy a drink at a bar, then you tip the bartender. In the United States, it kind of fluctuates a little bit on the percentage. The lower end is usually about 15%. The higher end is about 20% of whatever your total is on your meal. And for bartenders, it fluctuates as well. It'll be maybe $1, $2, $3 per drink. But it depends on the kind of drink you're getting. If, let's say, you're getting an easy drink like a beer, that's easy. You simply just pour it, or you hand over the bottle or a can to the person. That might be $1 tip. But if they're actually mixing a drink for you, you would want to tip a little bit more. And if they really go out of their way and maybe put a little extra alcohol in there for you, you might want to tip a little bit more. The sixth person is a pool attendant. Now, what that means is, let's say you're staying at a hotel or a resort and they have a pool, and you have lugged all of your stuff down to the pool and you're laying out by the pool, but you're starting to get hungry. Or maybe you want something to drink. Water, juice, adult beverage. You're wanting to get all of that, but you don't want to get up. You don't want to leave your valuables around where someone could take off with it. And you don't want to have to get up and walk all the way over to the restaurant to place an order, come all the way back, then go back whenever your food is ready. So they have pool attendants at a lot of hotels and resorts that will do all of that for you. They're basically a waiter that will come by and say, would you like something to drink? Would you like some food? Do you need more towels? If they see you're getting into the pool, they may offer you more towels. They are doing that as a service for you. So you'll want to tip the pool attendant. The seventh person is going to be the valet. Now, if you go to somewhere, especially in bigger cities, there is a lot of times going to be a parking garage where you can go and park your car. And that could be a free parking garage, or you may have to pay a fee to park there. But if you want front row parking and not have to worry about anything, it's a great idea to take the valet your car. They will park the car for you, give you a ticket, you go do whatever it is you want to do. When you come back, you give them the ticket and they bring the car to you. And they're doing this service for you, so you definitely want to tip the valet. Again, this amount can fluctuate and it kind of depends on the situation. If it's very busy, let's say you're going to a concert and you pay for a valet and there's a ton of people and you see this valet person, and I've seen this many times, where they're running. They are physically running back and forth getting all of these cars. And you go up there and they get your car and they get it to you very fast. I would tip a little extra to them. The eighth person that you're going to want to tip is the porter. The porter is the person in the hotel that when you go and you check in and you have all of your mountain of luggage there, they will take the luggage to the room for you. Now, of course, you can take your own luggage to your room, but if you've got a lot of luggage, or if you have kids and luggage, it can be overwhelming. And especially if you're staying at a place where they have stairs. Maybe you're staying at a bed and breakfast and they have stairs and you're on the third floor and now you have to lug your luggage, there's a reason they call it that, to the third floor. I'd rather pay somebody to do it. And so the porter will usually put the luggage onto a rolling stand and take it directly to your room. They will even set up the luggage for you. Again, the prices fluctuate. I would say do at least $1 or $2 per bag. And if you have a lot of luggage, or maybe you have some really heavy luggage, then maybe tip a little bit more. But you always want to tip the porter. The ninth person that you will want to tip is the leader of a tour or your excursion guide. If you are traveling and you decide to go on a zip lining tour and the person there is giving a great time, I mean, you're having a blast, they are a lot of energy, maybe they let you go an extra time or two, tip them. If you're going to a tour in a city and the tour guide is energetic and they're interesting and it's fun and you feel like you really got not only your money's worth but a little extra from this tour, then tip the tour guide. This price can vary as well. It's just kind of a feeling of, okay, if this person went above and beyond what I was really expecting, how much would I want to give them? A couple of dollars, $5, $10? And if you're unsure on any of the tips like that, kind of keep an eye out for everyone else in your tour, because they're probably going to be tipping too. They may keep it on the down low. They may have it folded up and, fold up the money and kind of discreetly hand it at the end of the tour. But if they do, maybe pull that person aside and say, hey, how much did you tip? I'm unsure of how much to tip. And kind of gauge how much to give off of what they gave. And the number 10 person that you might want to tip, and I say might because this is a little above and beyond, is the host of your Airbnb. Now, obviously, the host of an Airbnb is going to be getting the money from you staying at their Airbnb. But if this host has done a lot extra for you, then you'll want to tip them for that. I have stayed in Airbnbs where the person let me stay later than I was technically supposed to. I was having to wait for the train, and so I had hours to kill, but the checkout was earlier in the morning, and the host let me stay there for free for several hours without having to be out in public with my luggage and everything. And so that is a reason to tip someone. Also, if maybe when you get there, maybe they have a lot of snacks out, just little snacks, or maybe they have a bunch of extras that's not mentioned in the ad for the Airbnb. Maybe they have a portfolio of all kinds of stuff to do in the area and you weren't expecting that, and it's nice to have that available so you can familiarize yourself with the area. Maybe give them a little extra tip for that. Or if they give you tips on places to eat or things to do, there's a lot of different reasons that Airbnb hosts can give extra to you to where you might want to give a little extra back. I know that tipping can be very confusing, especially if you are not from the United States where we tip all the time. And I'm hoping that these tips have really helped you. If you have any questions about tipping, or if you tip here in the United States and you tip different amounts than I kind of spoke of, then leave a comment below. I would like to see what all of you have to say. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. But I look forward to seeing everyone in the next video. Bye!